Welcome to the K20 Center's Zoom Into Your Career video series. These online career expos give students a way to explore many interesting careers and learn about their career options from volunteer professionals. Tyler Jones is an inside sales representative for United Rentals in Chesapeake, Virginia. He has been with United Rentals since September of 2019.
Hey everyone, my name is Tyler. Like Will said, I am a sales rep for United Rentals. Don't know if any of you have ever heard of United Rentals before, but what we do is we work closely with construction companies. And you think of those big job sites, you think of the big equipment that they have out there at those job sites. And well, if they don't own that equipment, if those companies don't own that equipment, then they're probably coming to companies like mine to rent that equipment. So what I do is I rent and I sell that big equipment to different construction companies so that they can go out and do the job. They can build those big buildings or whatever it is that needs to be done around those job sites. And one of the cool things about the company I work for, United Rentals, is that we are the largest of our types of companies in the entire world. We operate not only here in the United States, but we are also in Canada and Europe. We are a multi-million, maybe even billion-dollar company, but we do work very closely with the construction industry. It's all about knowing these pieces of equipment right here. These pieces of equipment right here behind me, those are what are called trench rollers. It's actually a robot that has a little remote control that you can put down in a hole and compact the dirt at the bottom of that trench. A lot of you have probably seen like the big lifts that can go up in the air, like this thing right here behind me. That's a boom lift that can take a person up in the air. That one goes about 45 feet up in the air. But we also have some pretty big pieces of machinery here in our yard that there's a lift I'm about to show you over here. It goes up, I believe, 135 feet up in the air. And there's a lot of training, a lot of certification that goes with that. But what I love most about working with this equipment is knowing that I get to help build the area that I live in. Like Will said, I live in Virginia, and we work a lot with not only big companies in our area to help build those companies, but we also work with the Navy. We do a lot of work with the Navy, and this right here behind me, that's that 135-foot boom lift. That thing goes way up in the air, and I'm a little afraid to get in that myself. So we're not going to be doing that today. But we do a lot of work with a lot of great people, and one of the really, really awesome things about my job is I didn't start with wanting to do this. I actually went to college for journalism, but I wanted to work with people. I wanted to work with, I guess, kind of a sales mentality. And what I didn't realize is that getting into this job, just how much I love it. Because I get to work with different kinds of people every day. I get to work with all this cool equipment that you can see all around me every day. I get to be on this equipment and rent it to people that are in need of it. And another really cool aspect of my job is that I get to help them when it comes to getting that equipment taken care of, as far as servicing it, getting one of our mechanics out to take care of that equipment, or I get to help them with how much that equipment is going to cost them. So it's just little things here and there, because I love helping people. And it's little things like that that help me kind of feel good every day, because I get to help those people. But we can't do what we do in our job and get those companies the equipment they need if not for the service tech that we work with. And I'm actually in the shop here at one of the branches in Tulsa. This is their shop. This is where they take in some of those big pieces of machinery. They'll bring it in here and they'll work on it, make sure that it's good to go, so that the next person that needs to rent it can rent it. Just like, this piece of equipment right here behind me, a little scissor lift, that's being worked on right now. These guys here in the shop, they went to tech schools. They got a job here at United Rentals and got their own training through United Rentals to work in this shop and know what this equipment is and work firsthand on repairing this equipment. Um, I had one of the guys here in the shop kind of lined up to talk to you guys, but it appears he actually might be on lunch right now, which is fine. But one of the things that we really also wanted to talk about today was just the the need of the tech industry, of jobs like this, where you get to work on this equipment, and how we're always in need of mechanics. Because not only do they work here in the shop, but you get a job as a mechanic with United Rentals, you could also be going out to those big construction sites to work on those big pieces of equipment, and see those job sites and get your hands dirty and feel like you're a part of something bigger than yourself. And that's one of the big things about United Rentals is we're not just a one-man band. We are a family. Whether you're working in California or Virginia or Canada or Europe, we all share the same goals, the same values, and we want to make sure that not only our customers are taken care of, but our employees as well. I've been working with United Rentals since August, and I felt nothing but love for the entire from the entire company, whether it's people I just met or people that I've been working with since my first day here on the job. Everyone, we love what we do. We love working in this industry, and one of the great things about this industry is that you're always learning something. I mean, I'm only a few months into my job, and I have not stopped learning since the day I first set foot through the door. And there are people that have been in this industry for 20 years that are still learning, whether it's the new pieces of equipment that we get in, or the new safety standards or industry standards, or big companies like Amazon that will work with us to build their new facilities. There's not a whole lot more that I really wanted to touch on with United Rentals. I can open it up to you guys, or if you want me to demonstrate anything like that, because we have those big like jackhammers, we have things like these machines over here. There's one called a skid steer over here, has a big pickup bucket, or the scissor lifts. If you want to see me on any of that, or you want to learn anything about any of these, you guys are more than welcome to ask me to do that, or ask, we can get someone else to do it, so you can see just kind of how it works. But I'm gonna open up to you guys. If you guys have any questions, you want to learn anything about what we do or anything like that?
Yeah. If you have somebody that could hop on one of those and kind of show how it would
Yeah,
work, that'd be kind of cool.
yeah, I think we can arrange that. I'm gonna go with, I'm gonna pull Todd aside here. Hey Todd, this is everybody. Hi everybody. This is Todd. I've known Todd for several years now. Todd, they want to see a demo.
What do they want to see?
Whatever we can get someone on, whether it's a scissor lift like this one, or if we want to get someone to like a skid steer, or I can get in a skid steer, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, or we can go out and do a skid steer.
Yeah, let's go out and show them the skid steer. All right, cool. So you guys are going to get to see, these are called skid steers. A lot of people call them bobcats. They're very versatile in that, they have these buckets on them. You can put things like you would see on a forklift, fork attachments on them, but they can move a lot of dirt. Like scissor lift right here behind me, it'll go up in the air. The only reason I'm not getting on a scissor lift is because I have to put on a harness. That would take a lot of extra time. But maybe if we have some time later, we can get someone with a harness and put them up in the scissor lift, just kind of show you what it's like up there. Let's see. Or even, yeah, we got a skid here. We also got some smaller excavators. I didn't take you guys all the way over here, but this is a little miniature excavator right here. This thing will, it's got the big bucket here on the ground. There you go. Bucket right there. Todd's going to pull out a skid steer for us. See if I can turn my camera around. Yeah. They're a lot of fun to play with. As you can tell, they're really easy to drive. You pick the buckets up and down just like so, pick it up, grab some dirt. They're great for creating driveways or making foundations for houses. They're very small, very compact. As you can see, Todd's roughly the same size as me, and I think not really that much bigger than he is. But these things also, they weigh a lot. They're probably a couple tons. Piece of machinery is. Thank you, Todd. Is there anything else you guys would like to see?
I mean, if you got anything else, one thing I know that schools are kind of wanting to know is obviously we're
Yeah,
trying to promote, post-secondary education, but
absolutely.
obviously four-year universities aren't for everyone.
Yep.
So what kind of like training and stuff would you have to kind of get in order to either work at your job or something similar within the construction industry?
You know, just that's where I was talking about earlier with the whole tech field is getting people into those tech schools and even post-secondary. Like me, I went to school, I went to the communications field. My degree is in communications, and that allowed me to get the job I have with sales, just because I know how to talk to and with people. It's all about building those relationships. But the shop guys, especially, and you can even do that. With the tech field, you can get a sales position if you're just apt at talking with people, but going to a tech school and learning basic mechanics, making sure you have a good understanding of how things kind of operate and being able to demonstrate that will get you in the door. And then from there, we train. We offer in-house training to everybody, whether it's in my position or tech positions, and they do recertification on those trainings every year. United Rentals really takes care of their employees, especially their techs, because they're honestly the most important part of our job is making sure that equipment's always up and running and everybody can do the jobs they need to do. So going to those tech schools, so if you're not going to a four-year university, going to a tech school, getting that equipment knowledge of just your basic cars, trucks, will get you started on what you need to know to do these. Because from there, it just builds on itself. Would you agree with that, Todd?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So you kind of mentioned something I was going to hit on next. So like whenever I was in middle school, I worked on cars with my dad and stuff. And so how much if kids do that now, if they're working with their parents or something in middle school or in high school, what kind of experience does that help them in this kind of field?
Oh, that gives you miles of experience because not only do you just already have that knowledge, that insight, but when you go to that tech school, you're building on what you've already learned. So you will just be enhancing and really just kind of unifying all your skills, you could say. The question was if they're working with their parents, maybe right now, like they're in middle school, if they're maybe working with their parents on working on cars or any sort of just small mechanic work right now, how will that benefit them with getting into something like what we do here?
Oh, because you have a general knowledge of how things work, right? You know what makes the motor go. You know what it takes to take a wheel off the car. It's all the same stuff. It's motors, electric, and hydraulics, burning fuel. So any of that kind of thing that you can tinker on now, that's huge.
Yep. And then using that knowledge and taking that to tech school
Oh, absolutely.
will just push you that much further into getting into something like this, where you're not, you can go to like a mechanic shop, and that's great. We need regular car mechanics, but we also need big industrial mechanics too. We need people that'll come out here and work on these skid steers or work on these variable reach forklifts that basically operate like those big boom lifts that we were talking about right here, but they have a big fork on it so that you can pick up big heavy things and move it distances rather than just your standard style forklifts. But we need people that know how to operate and repair all of these things, and it starts at your age.
Awesome. So, what would be kind of the hardest part of someone kind of working with these, tools and different machinery?
The hardest part is just the knowledge. The hardest part's learning it. The hardest part is I came into this field, didn't know a thing about a thing. I didn't know a bobcat from, like if someone would have told me a bobcat and a skid steer, I'd have thought they were two different things, but it's a bobcat and a skid steer. That one's a bobcat, that one's a Takeuchi brand. So the white one's bobcat, Takeuchi, but they're the same thing. They do the exact same thing. They're slightly different sizes, but it's just about equipment knowledge, really, honestly. It's about learning what these pieces of machinery are and how they operate and how you, if you're maybe in my position, can uh, show that to the customer or relay that to the customer and say, okay, well, this is what you need to do. This is what you could use, and this is how it would help you do that. And like I said, I'm only a few months in, and I'm learning something new every day. There's a new piece of equipment I'm learning every day, and the knowledge never stops because not only do we continue to get new pieces of equipment, but that equipment gets bigger and better, and new components to it that'll allow it to do new things. So you're constantly learning, but the only thing separating you from what I'm doing now is obviously age. Learning just your basic, whether it's tech or the college degree, and then learning the equipment. Absolutely, that's really the hardest part of this whole thing is the equipment.
Awesome. So there are several different aspects to the kind of career field you're in.
Yeah,
You yourself work in sales. Within that industry, you could do anything between, handling the machinery, or you can be a project director. So what are the different kinds of actual jobs that someone could get within that
yeah.
field?
So Todd, let's start with Todd. So I am technically an inside sales rep. I'm on the low rung of our sales department, and I'm the guy that sits at the front counter. If someone walks in or someone calls our business and they want to rent a piece of equipment, they go through me. But then out on top of that, we have the outside sales rep, right, who goes to the job sites and sees what they're doing and can help them uh, pinpoint exactly what equipment they need to do the job they need, and they can help them with that sales aspect as well. Then we have the senior OSRs, we have national accounts, we have assigned accounts, we have, and that's just sales. That's just the sales positions. And then there's branch managers, there's area managers, there's service managers who work with the shop. And Todd, you're operations.
I'm operational excellence manager. So
Yeah.
I manage everything that's process driven, right? So I'm looking at how do we move a piece of equipment from one place to another? What are the steps that it takes to fix that piece of equipment, right? And we're all the time looking for improvements in those processes. So there's any number of directions you can go from any position in this company for sure, and in this industry.
Absolutely. And without Todd's job, I can't do my job. Without Todd doing what he does, I can't do what I do. Without my service techs doing what they do, I can't run equipment. Without the service manager making sure that they're overseeing the entire service side, we can't service our customers. Without inside sales reps, outside sales reps fail, and vice versa. It's all very much intertwined. There are, I believe our CEO right now, Matt Flannery.
Started as a car.
He started
out washing equipment.
Yep, started out washing equipment. He was what we call an equipment associate. His job was to be on our yard with all this equipment and making sure that was clean and taking care for the customer and getting that ready for the customer to come and pick up from one of our branches. He's now the CEO of the company. That's one thing that we love about United Rentals is the upward and outward mobility, because not only do we have this industrial side, there's also the behind the curtains people, not only in our national organization, but you have different phone call centers, you have service centers, you have customer relations, HR, financing departments, you name it, our company probably has it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's not just construction. We have our hands, just like there's, these branches, there's not just construction. There's a branch just a quarter of a mile down the road that all they do is, it's called Fluid Solutions. They handle pumps. That's their big thing, are pumps and moving fluid. Then we also have aerial equipment, which do specialize in these big pieces of equipment right here. We also have trench and safety, who they specialize in digging holes in the ground and making sure that those are secure for people to work inside of. We have power and HVAC. They do, power and air. We also have climate solutions. Climate solutions does heating and air conditioning on the industrial scale. It's not just construction, it's all the facets of different components of construction that you can.
Sweet. So what I'm hearing is, if I'm an 18-year-old looking for a job, you would have me covered for a long time, because it sounds like it's something that, somebody fresh out of high school could work at. And then, by the time they're, 25 or something, they could have moved up well within the company.
Yeah, you go out of high school, you go to a tech school if that's what you want to do, where you go to college. We offer internship programs. That's one of the big things that we like to push, are our internship programs. And it's so it starts in the sophomore, or going to be junior or
junior,
yeah,
junior, senior interns in college, right? And a lot of those, we've had a very good percentage of those that stay with us and go to work for us, which is, we love, because we're investing in their education and investing in their time, and it pays dividends, right? It pays us back.
So you can absolutely, get out of high school, go, refine your skills in the industry, be it in sales or mechanical side or whatever it is that you want to specialize in. And there will be opportunities for you at a place, if it's not United Rentals, a place like United Rentals that will get you into the industry, and you can stay in this industry. I have people that I work with that have been with us for 30 years. They're limitless opportunities to move up and out at United Rentals. I know that our district manager, he started off at, kind of in the ISR realm, OSR, outside sales rep realm, and then he moved out of state so that he could move up a little bit in the company, and then he came back to our area and moved up again in the company. It's, as long as you're willing to take the steps you need to take,
Limit yourself.
You can only limit yourself in this company.
Awesome. Yeah, that sounds great. Because, obviously, we all want a good job. We want a job that we can work hard at. But, unfortunately, we don't have a whole lot of time left. I know you guys have a ton more stuff you could talk about. We could be here all day, because it sounds like, you could tell these kids, every single job that they could work for throughout their life. And if they want to, they could, work up the corporate ladder, which is, something that a lot of people do.
Yep.
So, if we don't have any other questions, I appreciate y'all coming on. It was good seeing y'all. Thanks for showing us around. It's really cool getting to see the machinery in action, because those are things that, we see just driving down the road, or you see at construction sites, and you just think, how does it get there? Nobody really thinks about the backside of, construction and how that machinery gets moved. So getting to see kind of the insides of that's pretty neat.
Yeah, that's another little piece of the company that I guess we hadn't really talked about, is how it gets there.
Yeah.
We have a whole dispatching network that makes sure that our equipment, these pieces of equipment, get from here to any job site that we have our hands in. And we have drivers that drive that equipment. So it really is multifaceted in our industry, in our company specifically, that you can pretty much get your hands in anything and do whatever it is you want to do with the company.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate y'all coming on. We'll let y'all go back to work. Let the schools go back to class. Thank you so much for being here with me, Tyler. Appreciate you. And I'll see you soon, bud.
All right, man. See you later. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.